Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with Dark Mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by R. Talsorian Games. R. Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Whoa. Stuff just happened. Hello everyone, let me just fix this camera real quick. What is wrong? And why is... Hello! Apparently I'm having a bit of a technical issues at the moment. Why do I look so pixelated? Something's just not right. Yeah, y'all are seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff. But, yeah, okay, let's leave it like that. Where were we? Ah, yes. The Underworld. A dark reflection of our world. The land of the dead, the Umbra. It bears many names and many more inhabitants. The Hecata and La Sombra believe they know the underworld. The more foolish among them believe that they can control it, dominate it. But the truth is, no one really knows what's on the other side. The restless dead, beings made of thoughts manifest and even destructive forces of nature, all call the underworld their home. It is incredibly difficult to pierce the gauntlet, the veil that separates the underworld from our world. To even see but a fraction of this dead land is a feat. But some nights, when the moon is right, when the wailing of lost souls become too much to be contained, breaches into the underworld open, allowing those who know where to look. I'm missing a word. Allowing those who know where to look insights into powerful secrets, and swallow whole those unprepared. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I have just butchered this intro, so let's get on with our story, shall we? Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's Montreal by Night. I, of course, am Simon, Wandering DM. I use he, him pronouns. I will be the storyteller for our game, and I have with me a trio of wonderful vampires who are not swallowed by the underworld. Let's go around the table and introduce each one of them. As is tradition, I will demand that everyone shows their face for the intro. So we will begin. I don't even know if Trooper is actually at his desk at the moment. So we'll begin with Flory.
Oh, hey, everyone. Hi, welcome back. I'm very excited. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax at Praxgorth. That's me before you see me around here on Twitch, at Deirdre Dunlin on Twitter. And I get to play Flory Winters, your friendly neighborhood Ravnos, who's just here to do a murder and possibly introduce her sire to a blood sorcerer and then take bets on how that ends for everyone involved. Also planning the most epic of intro walk-up music for this Elysium.
So you are going to the Elysium.
Well, we have to, because that's the only time they're going to let, we have to follow their little mores. I mean, if it happens that somebody arranges an unfortunate accident for the prince and there isn't an Elysium, then it's not our fault that we couldn't introduce my sire to the prince as being appropriate.
Yep, nope, you're absolutely right. And speaking of someone who might or might not go to the Elysium, Arthur.
Hey everybody, Pope here.
What?
Pope World Build on the social medias, Pope World Build on Twitch. Happy to be here back with the Montreal by Night crew playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns, and unless there is an absolute emergency, there is no reason to go to an Elysium on Halloween. That is just asking for trouble. Like, that is just, please, dark, terrible gods, strike me down. Make me your puppet. No, that's, you let the things that are in the dark that are bigger, meaner than you have this day, have this evening. But no, this guy, Prince Hilkers, is going to have a party.
It's called a fete?
Is there a vet involved?
What? No, a fete.
Yeah, Fet's Vet.
What's a fed vet?
There's some deep memes that we need to bring you back up to
I mean,
speed
there
on.
might be a fun vet going.
My backpack's got jets. I'm Boba, the Fett. I bounty hunt for Jabba Hutt to finance my bet.
You know what? On that song, we'll move the mic over to Dixon? Question mark? Do we have a Dixon?
We have
I
the threat
I think
of
we
Dixon.
do. So we're gonna wait. Dixon exists.
At least theoretically.
Yes.
Theoretical threat of Dixon. This operates now at one Kuhl.
So,
I mean, is Dixon now Schrodinger's Dixon?
Considering the company that Dixon is keeping,
so long as you don't look into his haven, he is both alive and dead.
the alive part's impressive.
Well, I mean, he's both unliving and dead. That said, friends, let's delve back to where we were. I believe October 26th. Last session, we saw the return of Ralphie Lombardi. An actual return, as in he was returned to Arthur by a mysterious professional. Ralphie was not too worse for wear. Bit startled. Arthur gave him some good tips and pretty much asked him to keep an iron on him, or keep a piece on him at all time, and sent him on his way to his worried wife. In the meantime, we finally saw the long-awaited reunion, or first meeting of Flory and Folly. In person. The Malkavian had come to Arthur's place to see not only Flory, but also Flory's sire, one Casimir Ayers. Casimir had landed in Montreal not too long ago to investigate the death of his other child, one Aziz, who was destroyed in Paris, and a business card of the Hunter's Green was left. The card was identified as belonging to one Patrick LeMay, a regular patron of the club. Had marked the card as lost a few years ago. Was apparently found. He went to the club semi-regularly. Nothing that came out of the ordinary. However, there is something that was kind of strange surrounding the death. Something that perhaps hints at blood magic. Something for which Florian Arthur had someone in mind that could help. And on her way back to her haven, Miss Watson encountered a strange creature. Say that. We all remember the ghost of Christmas Future from the Muppets Christmas Carol. Some form of wraith in a tattered cloak with a long neck and no face. It pointed at her house, the Haunted Manor, before being driven through by Folly, who then rammed into a street lamp. We're going to start tonight with Flory and Casimir. I believe the two of you were on your way to the University of Montreal.
Yes. We were. And Casimir was going to pick up a bite before I introduced him to Valois, and I was taking the time to, check flight information for reasons.
The plane that you're tracking hasn't landed yet. I mean,
Yeah,
it hasn't departed. But according to the flight info, Mehmet should land in Chicago tomorrow.
That's if he's on that flight, but he could
If
be on
he's
the
on
one
the
that.
flight, yeah, that one instead of Moscow.
Yeah, and okay.
Moscow, give me just a second. Moscow, the flight is en route, actually. It is on time, and it should land.
I mean,
it's gonna be,
technically
like,
it should have
early.
landed already, but
Yeah, I think, yeah, at this time of night, yeah, it has landed. My bad. Yeah. I forgot we're not early in the night.
yeah, because it's like a 4-hour flight from Ankara to Moscow, and it's a 8-hour time difference between Montreal and Ankara. So, just seeing if that plane left Moscow, for any reason.
That specific plane right now, no. It's chartered on another flight. But it's going to leave Moscow in 2 days on October 28th.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to know where it is going.
Yeah, know where it's going, and maybe if there are any other private jets that were chartered from Moscow.
The flight from
6
Moscow is going to go to Prague, which is not necessarily a place that vampires. Well, let's just say after the conclave of Prague.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't happened yet. I am sorry. There is going to Prague, yes, but the conclave hasn't happened. So far, thus far, we have nothing to say about Prague.
Yeah, we have nothing to say about Prague except it's very close to Vienna.
Well, yes, okay, that is something else.
In the relative speaking. But has there been another plane, not the specific one, but has there been another plane that left Montreal, a private plane, any other private planes that left, not Montreal, Moscow?
It depends. Do you mean one that would belong to him? Or just like planes in general? Because there has been a lot of like, regular flights, not commercial flights, but regular flights. In and out of the Moscow
anything that
airport.
would belong to him or Ping as or any of the conglomerates that she's possibly liberated funds or things from. He has a bunch of shell companies. She knows this.
Could you
Let's put some
roll
effort in.
intelligence and technology?
I can do that. I can do that.
Please.
It won't be.
We'll do a leave it at difficulty 2.
Mm-hmm.
But for each success above a 2, yielding more information, yada yada.
Yeah, I'll just. It works. I'm just gonna do it. So 3, 6.
No,
excuse me.
that's 1,
5,
2,
6,
3, 4, 5 successes. Yeah. So there has been other flights that of certain
Mhm.
oligarchs that you believe have ties to Mehmet. Like, they're not directly associated with him, but it's always a sort of murky, you know, friend of a friend type of situation. You've never necessarily liberated anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how the art world is sort of a laundromat for mob money.
Yeah.
So there's you know, there's crisscrossing. With your 5 successes, you see this for what it is. A diversion. Either someone on one of those planes or Mehmet himself is trying to obfuscate their tracks. Perhaps something landed in Moscow and then was moved somewhere else, and through all of those chartered flights, it would be harder to see, especially for private planes, you know, what's on, like, in the cargo.
Yeah, and you know, if somebody happened to turn their transponder off over, say, Belarus or whole bunches of places.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's playing a shell game with something, but he's more likely to be on the flight to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's just going to make notes of that shell game that's going on out of Moscow and pay attention to it, but also pay attention to the flight to Chicago.
Yeah.
And, you know, I figured that's about the point when Casimir would come back, because it shouldn't take him that long to have a snack, at least on a college campus.
Oh, yeah, no, that...
Oh, we
Oh.
lost a pope.
Indeed. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'll just ping him in the Discord. All right. That said, yes, Casimir would come back rather punctually. It's, you know, he's got, you know, he's wiping a bit corner of his mouth. It was quick. He probably just nabbed someone who happened to be walking alone. He leans over. You're in the vet, right?
Of course, didn't look like to take the RV.
So he leans down, you know, to look at you through the window, and not quite what I wanted, but I guess brilliant students are probably in their dorms or something at this time of night. I couldn't help but feel that I was watched the whole time.
Probably. Let's go meet a
Yeah, you're
pretentious Chamir. Yeah, that.
your blood sorcerer.
Not mine. But he didn't skimp out on paying a bill, so there's that.
Anything I need to know about him before we...
French, pretentious Tremere, survived a bunch of Sabbat here, didn't get dead, didn't try to kill me when I, you know, did a little bit of a murder.
Good to know. Good to know.
Nominally, I guess. Interestingly enough, probably not going to become the primogen of the Tremere in this city. That might go to the master that brought the gargoyle here.
That would certainly be an interesting choice for primogen.
Well, he came with the little princeling.
Yes, nepotism. Of course. I would expect nothing less from the Ivory Tower.
I figure for between them, if they're in a public place, they speak Arabic. that if they're in a private place, they speak Broma.
Okay.
Because you don't speak Roma in front of Gajo.
It's not like most people would understand here anyway.
Yeah, but it's
It's the
you wouldn't-
principle.
it's the principle of the thing. But she'll bring him up to the
Mhm.
Same location of where like she knows Valois' office is, in that building.
His door is slightly ajar tonight.
She'll play on the door frame, not on the door, shave and haircut.
Come in. And when you enter his office, you can see him sat at his desk. There's multiple volumes out. Many of them just look like psychology manual, psychiatry books. Clearly just as a kind of as a front, almost as a barrier to hide whatever it is he's doing at his desk. Normally, he says, one would ask before hunting on another's territory.
Normally, we'd have a prince who would allow presentation on normal and on a timely manner, but here we are. We don't have a herald, you only have a secretary.
Prince aside, Miss Winters. I thought of all people you would respect others' territories.
Oh, I didn't eat anything.
Is he not your guest?
There's a kind of point where she turns and looks at Casimir like
Casimir
doesn't get it.
Casimir like nods and sort of almost like wow, word, not flinches, bows a little in apologies and says, "Oh, yes, my sire here," and he points to you, has she told me I was allowed. I just did what she said, you know, as a good child. I did not know we have laws about this. He looks at you with like, there's like a twinkle of
Yeah, this is probably not the first time they've done this, and I figure
he's trying to get you in trouble a bit.
He is, but he's also it's a level of he came into this room. Valois should be able to tell which of the two of us is older. Like, and so Flory is got like this look on her face, like, really, you want to play this game? But she's also looking out, side-eyeing Valois to see if he's actually believing that Casimir is younger than Flory.
You get the feeling that Valois doesn't outright believe anything that either of you would say unless you say something that he is interested in.
No, we don't have any laws. They apparently do. That's why, they're into the whole voodoo mumble jumble stabby with a knife that, can suck the blood out of somebody and leave a giant pile of ash behind.
I see someone has read their intro to blood sorcery.
Skimmed it. Spark notes. Very useful.
Well, just like a child should not hunt on another's territory, a kindred should not steal secrets from the pyramid.
Didn't steal anything. Other people talk. Not my fault if I listen. Although, if you want me to steal something, we could negotiate. Art, books, repatriation.
There is nothing I need at the moment, Miss Winters. Thank you.
Yes.
And I believe you're, well, clearly not child unless you have some sick sense of humor.
No. I mean, and then she's probably been speaking French this entire time, and she just kind of looks at him and he goes, no, my humor's always tended more to Voltaire on occasion, not really de Sade. But, and Casimir Valois, Casimir. And she'll reach behind and like close the door.
Mm-hmm. There's like a
provided.
A pair of students that, you know, lingered in the corridor, just, you know, looking at who's in the teacher's office, the professor's
office. And she's gonna
office.
like lean out the door and smirk and wink at them and close the door, as she does so.
Valois will welcome Casimir to Montreal. I'm just going to paraphrase a few things so that I don't have to talk to myself for the next hour and a half.
I mean, why would we want it to make you do that? It's not like you're Jim.
Well, I could do like Jim, but also I feel for Jim.
We all feel for Jim.
Now, Casimir will basically explain how, you know, the notes that you skimmed, those basic blood sorcery rituals, as he put it. He wants to know more about it. He doesn't want to know how to use them. He wants to know why someone would use them. And what kind of power does it take to be able to use this? And Valois will look to you, Flory.
She's like taken one of the like chairs in his room that, you know, this office that he keeps to kind of for student level, and just leaning back. And she is, again, for what Valois has seen her in, oddly demurely dressed, right? Like very simple, basic black pantsuit, light jacket. And again, her hair is pulled back, and
yeah, this feels less like official meeting and more like personal.
Yeah, a little
like,
bit.
You were caught in your off day type of thing. He, on the other hand, is not dressed like a wizard, as he usually is. For all of you at home, here's a link to Legend Keeper. You can find Valois somewhere in there.
And Casimir is also there, and you can imagine him wearing a white and brown linen Italian suit.
Yeah. No, Valois is dressed more like well, I was gonna say suburban dad, almost, in a way. It clearly doesn't fit him. He hasn't gotten up from behind the desk, so you only see like the polo shirt that he's wearing, and it feels like this is a person almost unaccustomed to dressing like the times, really. Miss Winters, Mr. Casimir. Blood sorcery that you are hinting at. I can tell you right now, it is nothing that I have taught anyone in this city. I know of this ritual, but I get the feeling that you are not telling me the whole story. Can't really help if I don't know all the details. Magic is very, very personal. Blood magic is no different. I will leave it up to you, Deirdre.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Casimir would be okay to tell everything? Out of character, he's part of, you know, the cadre of characters that you build for the game. I have an idea of what, but I would defer to you to make the choice.
I think it would depend, really, because I think he's old enough and smart enough to play the game just enough to get the information that he wants or needs without overexposing the information that he doesn't think is necessary for outsiders to know.
Okay. Then he will explain that there's someone who's been picking off Ravnos. And he's here on behalf of the family, basically.
The remains that is the clan Ravnos.
Yeah, basically, you know how there's so little of us now. When one person goes against our clan, it becomes an important matter. He will specify that this Ravnos in question, just like him, Casimir, he can't really speak for you, are not affiliated with the Sabbat. They prefer to not join the sect for protection. They figured remaining neutral, independent might be the best way to go. And now this other kindred was slain. And Valois will almost dismissively just mention that what the ritual that was used on this person is not one that the Tremere are known for. It used to be a closely guarded secret of the Banu Hakim. It eventually disseminated into the pyramid because of, and partly you get the feeling, in order for the Banu Hakim to join the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was much a matter of, okay, well, you can join us, but you expose all of your secrets, you don't keep anything hidden, and we want to know everything, all the dirt possible, and we want to have the upper hand at all times. And in exchange, we'll protect you from the Sabbat. Can you roll manipulation and insight? I will give you the difficulty in a moment.
Okay. Is this a thing?
I would need a little bit more. Is it a discipline? No.
Okay.
You're not resisting a discipline. Difficulty 4. It's more of I want to see like what you can glean out of this whole conversation that I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah, that seems really awkward. I'm just gonna reroll 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Because Only 3 success.
1, 2, 3 success. Do you want to spend another will?
You know, I have nice fancy things that I can do with that. So yes, why not?
One,
How
two,
about
three, four, 5
5?
successes.
I'll take it. I mean, I can
Um,
it's fine.
Valois himself, you can feel it, does not. He doesn't value the blood magic, the blood sorcery that the Banu Hakim use. Let me rephrase that. On the surface, he dismisses them, talks about it as this crude way of.
Wait, is if she gets that, she might just throw look at him and just be like,
With 5 successes, you would know this is only on the surface.
Yeah.
Because it's not the case. It's
No,
like
he wants
a.
it. It's
like
that
a public face that he needs to put.
It's the mage in Witcher who actually does want to learn signs.
Kind of. It's more like you get the feeling that he knows way more blood sorcery than someone in his place could. I mean, he did spend an inordinate amount of time
Among the
with the
Sabbat?
Sabbat.
Yeah.
In a place where, you know, in the occult capital of North America. So there was probably a lot that he learned, and he probably has a lot of knowledge that could see him at best expelled from the Camarilla, at worst red listed. So as he dismissively talks about these things, and makes sure to point out, you know, how gross and unrefined their powers are, though they do bring result, your friend, your Ravnos cousin, as it were, good news is he probably never felt a thing. The bad news is, depending on how this ritual was enacted, he was either alive and stumbled into a trap. The trap being the activation of the ritual. Or he was killed prior to, maybe staked, and then the ritual was enacted. There's no way to know. And the other issue with that ritual is that it destroys, it utterly annihilates any connection to clan and to progenitor. Even a necromancer from the Familia wouldn't be able to find a way to get his remains to talk, animate, or anything of the sort. Putting aside the fact that when a vampire is destroyed, you know, we don't really know what happens to matters of soul and all that. That's best left for other licks who are interested in that. But as far as he's concerned, the fact that the ritual was used means that the person who did it, one, really does not want to be found. And two, unless they left other evidence, there's nothing that can detail like who enacted that ritual. It doesn't even require let me rephrase that. It requires physical components, none of which are partially destroyed or completely consumed by the ritual, and thus can be, brought back with the person who enacted the ritual.
So...
But he doesn't mention what kind of material.
I think at this point, Flory has kind of stepped back and let Casimir take most of this. It was like, this is the introduction. Let me...
Mhm.
You're presenting yourself as this person who's doing this, as the agent involved. Okay, now I'm going to kind of slide in and so anything that was left behind would have been intentionally left.
Yes.
Hmm.
Valois gets up, begins to pace behind his desk, as he tends to do when he gets into a conversation. You've seen him do exactly that.
Yes, he's got
ago.
professor mode.
Yeah. And he will mention that oh boy. I completely lost my train of thought. Give me a sec. He mentions that the blood sorcery itself, the ritual itself, is something that could be taught to just about anyone. But unless someone was well versed in blood sorcery and or perhaps assassination, beginners always leave a trace behind.
And she's gonna...
Oh, and given that you've mentioned, Mr. Casimir, that you are fiercely independent, if it can reassure you, this type of magic is not as common in the Sabbat as it is in the Camarilla. Oddly enough.
So theoretically, you could train pretty much any bog standard Ventrue to do this.
No.
They have to know what they're doing.
You could... This Ventrue would need to have had a mentor that was probably on my level or above. You need to have an affinity for blood sorcery to begin with. And the Ventrue, as much as they think themselves the rulers of all, they're good at ruling. They're not good at magic.
I would even say they're better at possibly arranging a government, but not really ruling one. For the most part.
The last Ventrue I met, our illustrious prince aside, was a cult leader who had an entire country's worth of kindred at his beck and call. I'd say they're very good at ruling.
Oh, you're hanging out with Mithras? Because I don't count him as a Ventrue. I think that's a glorified, that's a different thing, right? You'll agree with me on this one. Like, the really old ones don't really count as Ventrue anymore.
I count someone who's younger than Mithras.
Really? We're hanging out with interesting Ventrue anymore.
You have... What is your knowledge of local history? And as he says that, he walks to one of his bookshelves.
Ah. And they've been speaking French. And she'll switch for a second to Arabic and ask Casimir if they think if he hears anyone else.
If he hears anyone else?
Yeah, it's that level of like, if I'm about to try, if I'm about to possibly make mention of some things my knowledge of local history might perhaps be deeper than other people would know it is, I'd want to make sure that there isn't anybody hanging around outside.
Oh, okay. Before Casimir replies, in a bit mangled Arabic, Valois will answer and say, so long as the doors close, no mortal can hear anything.
And she'll switch back to French as like, I'm not usually worried about mortals when I start talking about history of this city.
I would know if one of us set foot on campus. After all, some people, and he looks at Casimir, treats my territory as a drive-through.
You could make good money doing that.
These students are the promising young minds of the future. I would rather avoid they serve as beverage for just about any lick that comes into town.
Not any lick. That's really disgusting that you would think that.
Casimir goes, I've been called worse.
True, but honestly, given the fact that how many of them are selling their own plasma and or other things to make the payments to go to this school, I think it would be entirely appropriate. You go arrange a scholarship thing, you got
out
money
of
go.
game. Out of game. Nah. That's only an American thing.
Yeah, I know. She
Tuition
knows
at that
too.
place, you can it's like a grand a semester plus your books.
Yeah, she knows that too. She's just saying it to be like, you could do the whole thing. But if we're talking about history of the city, last time I was in the city, well, it was 1998.
Well then, he was about to get a thin, sort of soft cover kind of notebook, a little taller than a regular notebook, but less than shorter than 11 inches. But he puts it back and says, well then, you are probably acquainted with the late Cardinal of Montreal.
Oh, which one?
There's only been one.
Oh, that's right. That's because the others didn't get here. She smirks as she says that, and then she'll say, yes, I know who you're talking about.
He didn't have any reaction to what you said. And he keeps talking unfazed. With your check from earlier, you've piqued his interest.
She kind of wanted to at this point.
He says, Kyle Strathcona was a powerful Ventru. And under him, the Sabbat here flourished in all manners of occult magics.
Yes, but I reiterate my point. Is he actually a Ventru if he's turned over to the Sabbat? I mean, I think the Ventru disavow him by that point. Tell me I'm wrong.
The clan itself, I don't know. I don't really care. But I can tell you that the sect welcomed him with open arms. He had all the training to rule an unruly mob properly. And he whipped the people here, the locals, into a fierce faction of the Sword of Cain.
Mm.
Thankfully, they're all fucking dead.
Ooh, about that.
Hmm?
They're not.
Stragglers, survivors, perhaps. I mean,
No.
what's his name? Mr. Andrade is one of them.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who's ever old enough to still ping underground.
He takes the notebook, goes back to his desk, sets it down, doesn't open it, he stays standing.
Also, apparently somebody's running around in a coat of faces. I mean, that just seems, and she's like side talking to Casimir as she does this. That just seems gauche. Like
Valois will pipe up and say the coat of faces was just fashion 20 years ago here. That could be anyone.
Yes, this is true. But there's somebody running around wearing it still. And
well, I mean,
the infestation of whites in the sewer system and the waters.
I don't believe that the water of Montreal has anything to do with an epidemic of whites.
Well, they're hanging out down there and they're attempting to eat, I guess, maybe fish.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the survivors devolved into those things. But I'm not interested about some vampire hipster or those who have succumbed to their beast. You mentioned something about pinging underground. Are you talking in modern parlance about pinging, as in a computer? Or you're talking about something more interesting?
The slang may be evolving, but the term to ping underground, that's been the same definition of the term since we discovered dowsing. And yes, that's one of ours.
Ooh. What? And how can you be so sure that there is actually something very old under the island?
You can see the signs if you look for them, Valois. We're not good enough friends for me to just hand over everything I know. And you haven't even paid me for it yet. I was giving you one good turn in favor of another. But yes, something old enough to ping on a variety of levels.
Then let me offer this. Information for information. You tell me what I want to know about this underground dweller, and in return, I will tell you everything I know about this ritual. Because
did it seem
do you really think that what I gave you was more than the cliff notes?
Did it seem like, because she's been based on that previous analysis of his paying attention, right? Did it seem like he held back enough for her to even offer more information about this?
With the role that you had earlier, yes. He knows, like I said, you know, he's probably someone who knows enough shit to be put on the red list.
She would glance at Casimir.
Family is important, Casimir says. If the boon in question is just information, he looks to you, then to Valois, back to you. He says, our familial issues cross boundaries and borders. It's an international problem. Whatever's under the island is probably just some local secret. Could be interesting to the Hicks that live on this island, but probably not to the rest of the worldly community.
We have an accord. Point number 1, Valois, and I'm honestly surprised you didn't think this yourself. Hilker's mere presence. Point number 2, Hilker's public claim that Villon himself sent him to Montreal. Valois, have you ever seen someone who has spoken to Villon in public leave Paris? Or, let me phrase that, France?
Not that I know of. I'm a bit of a homebody.
To my knowledge, Villon doesn't let things go. It's why I don't play at the Louvre.
And is there a reason why?
Anton Hilkers walks into an Elysium and claims publicly that Villon himself sent him to Paris to become prince.
But what would that have to do with what is pinging?
There are 3 things that the man like Villon would want in this city. Thing number 1, money, loot. Easy to determine, probably not true. We know that there's a large amount of Sabbat's treasure under this city. The Inquisition didn't take it out. That's too easy, too obvious. Option number 2, literature of some sort. Possible, but not likely. Option number 3, person. Why is Caleb Dumas in this city?
Caleb Duval?
Duval, yeah, whatever he wants to call himself.
Because he wants to be here like many of us.
Really?
As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Duval is allowed here. I know he has ties with the French court. I figured he was here to ensure that, well, now that we know that Mr. Hilkers, or His Highness...
But Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, Valois. Caleb has been in this city a few decades.
No.
Oh, no. What does, because
Out of
isn't he
game.
one of the survival? Didn't we mention he's one of the survivors? No, he comes in shortly after.
Yeah, he came shortly after.
Okay. That was my mistake as a player. She wouldn't have made that mistake. But so Caleb Duval and Anton Hilkers are now agents of Paris in Montreal.
According to the bylaws, Montreal belongs to the French court.
Mhm.
French crown, he would have said.
French crown. It's really difficult to have a crown when you lost your head. But, side note, I don't get involved in Villon's business. I am, however, intrigued by the fact that 2 agents of his are in this city. Neither of whom have left.
No, but if he claims the right to this city, he's allowed to have anyone he wishes here.
Of course. But what does Vion get out of Montreal?
At the moment, the only thing that I think is not part of the deal we have.
No. That's where I go back to my third point. Vion doesn't like to let things or people go. And number 3, and then we're on to my next point, number 4. Fire where it shouldn't be. With no sign or reason. The sensation of being watched perpetually. And she'll kind of like side gesture to Casimir. We're very particular about knowing who's paying attention to us. It's, well, if I didn't want you to see me, you wouldn't see me. Oh, it's one of the gifts. So
Yes.
something has to be very old to make me feel like I'm being watched at all times.
Are you sure it's not?
Oh, no. That I can smell. Taste. Feel. It's synesthesia. You ever had that feeling? No. And your last major point? That little video that brought me to the city in the first place.
The masquerade breach.
Yes, by the way, I did deal with that and only already paid me. So.
No one ever said you would be paid for it.
No. I was in that room. There was a discussion about money. There was an entire discussion. Diana wrote that shit down. There was a discussion of money. I did not do that shit for free. She like turns to Casimir, is like, I did not pull a fix for free.
Then
did not
perhaps
promise
you should confer with Miss St. Laurent as to why you haven't been paid yet.
It's a little difficult to do. She's been a little bit appropriated, probably very dead. Also, who's ever doing that? Does it look like a surprise to him when she says this?
Kind of. It's more like feigned interest.
Yeah. Well, whoever's doing that investigation into finding out who possibly murdered her or abducted her body didn't do a good job. Entirely just hand wave. Also, lots of magic flowing around there too, my man. Were you blowing out some electrical power outages in recent weeks?
No, why would I?
Exactly. I didn't think it was your style. You don't seem the type to just mosey into the jungle and, attempt to abduct and or kill a woman, move fast enough not to get shot by her gun, and then remove the body while still leaving physical traces behind and blowing out all of the electrics and walls in the building. Doesn't seem your
Seems like
style.
she pissed off some very interesting person.
It does. But
That still
digress.
doesn't tell me what you know about what's pinging underground.
enough to know I'm not going to piss off the wrong people. There's
That is-
enough images on that camera footage to show 3 people still alive moments before the explosion. 2 of whom, I'm pretty sure, given their general location and where they're standing in that footage, they had the ability to move to a protected location. And the 3rd managed to walk out because he was wearing that body cam.
Hasn't that been established that the person wearing the body cam was a Kine?
Yep.
So that rules out pinging under the island.
Definitely him, not him. The other two. Well, the other two, I know one of. The other,
Wasn't the other blown to bits?
slow that footage down and watch it again, Valois. They both react to seeing individuals, and they both react before the, well, explosion can go off. You have enough time to react, Valois. What do you do?
But none of despite the obscene amount of lore that was shared among the packs of Montreal back then, there isn't anyone that I recognized in those videos. If I had, I could potentially believe you when you say that they're still somewhere in Torpor. Right now, if that is all that you have,
Valois.
basically on the same level of the cliff notes I gave you about the ritual.
No, Valois, there's one other thing.
Please, I have all night.
So do I, actually. It's been a very pleasant kind of week of investing in property. It's been quite joyful. Less joyful for some people than others. One of those people I know very well. She probably got out. And him, he looked like everything that belonged to the Sabbat if it was still in Paris in 1789. Yeah. Yeah. She knows.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She Simon.
I just want to make sure. Valois says, I knew all the major players.
Did you,
Whoever is on
Valois?
that footage was not a major player.
Oh, so if I told you the name Hetty, you would know them?
Eddie Broadley? Yeah, the name does tell me something, but not because we've crossed paths.
But you don't think she's a major player, Valois?
No.
And that tells me you don't know all the major players.
She was a visitor, kind of like you and Mr. Casimir here.
Actually, very like us.
Never shown any abilities that would allow her to ping from underground.
Yes, because you know everything and can sense everything, Valois. And you know who's old enough to do that.
I would know, as you say,
Really?
because I know a lot, that none of the people who were in the temple that night had that power.
Are you sure?
Enough to know that you have no information that interests me.
Yeah, but do you know that there's also space underneath your bloody temple? And do you actually know who everyone is? Because apparently you don't. You only know enough about the people in Montreal or at least the people that your dear Cardinal Strathcona could claim had power in this city.
Please enlighten me, you who have set foot in Montreal for what? A few weeks way back when? I have survived the Sword of Cain.
Kervos Fexia Carlos.
Inquisitors. What of them? And you see that, like, he recognizes the names, answered immediately.
1998.
Yep, I remember.
Do you know where they are?
They never made it, unfortunately.
No,
Which
they
would
didn't.
have been... It would have been a boon had they had managed to come to Montreal, but I figure they were
A boon for
interrupted.
whom, though?
Anyone interested in the downfall of the Sword of Cain?
I don't think so.
See, this is where I know things that you don't.
Really? I honestly don't care about the downfall of the Sword of Cain. I mean, we know he exists. I really don't think he cares about us at all. I mean,
The Sword
he
of
kinda
Cain,
looks at
I
like
mean
a-
the Sabbat.
yes, I know. And I figure eventually Cain will get tired of their antics and deal with them himself. I mean, look, we've got enough. And she kind of gestures to Casimir's like, we know exactly what Cain does. We're the leftovers. So I don't care. But I can tell you though, that I know exactly why those individuals never entered this city. And where they are.
Please enlighten me. That, I might find, is worth enough to trade in information.
Between the fourth and fifth ribs, angled slightly downward, is the fastest way to go through to somebody's heart. If you wish to stake them quickly and efficiently, you do so. My Zalmati and I are very good at what we do. All told, it took us half an hour to deal with the problem. Now, when I say that you don't necessarily know who all the players are who move around out of town, I don't deny that you have personal knowledge of people who are here. But when outsiders came, could you honestly say who had the power to do what I suggest? If you don't know who's dealing with your problems outside of this island.
You see he begins to be visibly angry. You have caused enough damage to this city without even knowing anything about your actions. I don't know who hired you, but I really hope they die during the Night of Ashes. Otherwise, they will suffer greatly.
Hmm.
If you want to know more about your ritual, just go look for the snakes under the island. Now leave my office.
It was a pleasure to attempt to do business with you, Valois. I traded in good faith. Know that I gave you what I had, and knowledge is mine to share. And next time, Maybe you'll come down out of your little ivory tower and slum with us peasants, because we do know some things that you don't. And as she's going to walk out, she'll just scratch another scratch in the door. This is a marker on that she had left in the door the first time, the door frame the first time, about him. And now she's just going to be like, we no longer do business. Have at. He is neither protected nor unprotected.
No jumping on the desk. Give me a second.
Yep.
Okay, so it is. Can you make no, that's not what I'm looking for. Is you carve something in the door. Yeah, I know it's a test, but can you give me the stats for the test? Just a quick second, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's fine. Because she's just like adding a slash mark through what she had already done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I need to roll. You don't need to roll anything. I need to roll something.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, that is 5 successes.
Okay.
When you scratch something in the doorframe, the entire doorframe lights up, and you feel your entire body, like not just the blood, but like your dead organs, the skin, everything, just burn horribly, and you will take 3 points of aggravated damage.
Well, I'm gonna be hungry, and that's not gonna be good. And she's just gonna turn around, and I think like that level of like still smoking, blow him a kiss as she walks out the door. And she had been, up until this point, very polite. Really polite. And as she walks out, she's going to use Melpomene and just say, "You never know who's watching, Valois."
There is no reply from him.
No. But I can use Dread Gaze on him from merely my voice.
What is the roll for this?
Interestingly enough, it is my charisma presence versus his
composure and resolve. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So his roll is going to be 5 successes.
Yeah. So we tie, which means he gets. What is the Dread Gaze rules?
Basically, it would be like a win. So he would
Yeah.
be unable to act other than in their own defense for a turn unless he spends willpower. Equal
Yeah.
to the user's margin of win, which is 0, so it would be 1 because it's the
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah.
Can you make that rouse check, though, please?
Fun fact, I have a very important mechanics question. This is an important mechanics question.
Mhm.
It says that there's a rouse check for Dreadgaze, but there is not a rouse check for Melpomene.
Huh.
And like, I don't mind making it. I just need, I don't know what the
Yeah,
rule would be here.
let me just check. I need to open the other book. That would be presence, right?
Yes, presence.
It's under presence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, activating Melpomene is completely free, and what it does is then you can use Awe, Daunt, Dreadgaze, and Trance Majesty. So you still need to activate that other.
Yeah, so that was the question. Like, I wasn't sure how that was working.
It's basically like a mod that adds. That's cool. A mod that changes how your disciplines work.
I'm okay with that. I just, you know, the way it's phrased, it was very awkward. And then she's gonna walk out.
So yeah, he says nothing, but you kind of know why he says nothing.
Yeah, it's okay. I got the last word. I'm okay. It's like, and then she's gonna look at Casimir and Roma just say, "I'm going to get dinner."
He looks at you and the state you are in, and he's like, "You're probably going to need more than just dinner." And you see he's kind of...
Yeah, he's upset.
He's a little bit upset because he probably felt your pain.
Yeah, she's also pissed. And she's like, "I didn't lie to that son of a bitch. I want it duly noted that I did not lie to that son of a bitch."
No, but would you really expect the Tremere not to be paranoid and trap every square inch of their haven?
Considering he didn't do it last time. And it's a public wall.
He might have done so because of last time. I don't know what you said to him.
I didn't know.
But
I did ask him point blank if he was behind the attempted abduction and child murder for the Ventru. I told you about that, the whole circulatory system thing.
But that might have rubbed them the wrong way.
I asked him. I didn't accuse him. I asked. Politely, even.
I think everything the Tremere hear is either a threat or a bribe.
Well, you can go get fucked. And she will then look at him and go, "And yes, there's a dragon waking up under this city."
And on that, we're going to take a break. And we're going to be right back, everyone. Give us 10 minutes, and then we're going to see what Arthur and Dixon are up to. Hey, hello. We're back. And we're back with this time not the university campus atop the mountain, but down the mountain. At Arthur's place in Little Italy. Oh shit, I saw a bit of Trooper's face.
Oh.
Those of you who have the VODs, you can now clip it.
Ready.
Mr. Arthur,
Yeah.
I believe Folly sent you a message when she got
Yeah.
into her accident.
Yeah. I will probably go out there, take a look at things, make sure she's all right, then send her the fuck on her way. Because that can only cause more trouble.
Given how just like bruised she was, she wouldn't wait for you to get there. Like if you want to get there to investigate,
Yeah, I'm more
sure,
get
but
out there
like
to
she's
investigate.
going to get the hell out of there before
Yeah.
you know cops or whatever
Yeah.
happen.
So I'll probably, with how the order of things will happen, is she will, unless the car is absolutely totaled, speed off into the night, leaving the scene of the accident, and then somebody's going to call it in before I get there.
Oh, definitely. But more than likely, it's not going to be the authorities. Like a tow truck is going to come, tow the truck away.
Yeah.
The cops are probably just going to come by, get the license plate, and that's it. They really don't need anything more than that.
Oh, they haven't called the proper cleanup crew. That's interesting.
Well, it depends if you're... Because Foley is not going to call anyone.
Like, sorry, son of cop. I know the order of operations when an accident happens. And especially vehicular. So it gets called in. You get the record. But you also get the cleanup crew. Because everything has to be done. You have your initial like accident reporter officer show up there, but then you have the cleanup crew, which literally clean the scene. Try and set things back as best as possible to make it so that the flow of traffic is not interrupted any further.
I am not sure that it is the cops that do that up here.
Usually it's not the cops in any city, regardless. The cops are called. The record comes, they take the car. The cop usually
it's normally like
but
then
those,
they call like the city.
Yeah.
The city sanitation will come and the cop will hang around to provide security for the sanitation worker.
As
but they
well
need to
as
remove
moving traffic.
Yeah, they need to remove like the glass or the bumper or anything that could be a hazard for other drivers.
Also, if the pole broke,
then you have to call the telephone company and
yeah.
the power company.
That's different. But in this case, the pole didn't break. And because we're in the middle of the night, the city workers aren't going to show up before tomorrow. There's glass on the sidewalk and part of the street, but her car wasn't totaled by the accident. She wasn't driving extremely fast. I mean, the speed limit on that street is like 40 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
So in miles, it's 25 miles.
Yeah.
So, she hit a lamppost at 25 miles an hour.
Still can, depending on what the lamppost is made out of, wreck the lamppost and the car.
It
also
did
depends on
wreck.
what the card is made out of.
I mean, by the time you reach the area, you can see there's, maybe half a windshield's worth of glass shards on the pavement.
Okay. We really need to do something about getting better response times, but that's future.
Well, also, it's probably not glass shards. It's probably large pieces of glass.
It's the
Well, no,
when
she
it
drives.
breaks.
She was driving the classic car. It doesn't have safety glass that would
Yeah.
shatter the same way.
Oh, right, because it's not treated.
Oh,
Yeah,
she was
so it's
driving a
not-
classic car. Yeah, that pole is dead.
Yeah,
That pole probably has a really big bend in it if it's not all the way over.
No. That pole is dead. If it is not made out of concrete, that pole is dead.
yeah, it's not made of concrete.
It's dead, Jim.
It's probably bent. Yeah.
No,
Um,
it is a safety hazard. The city might not want to show up, but they have to.
Yeah, let's do that because I forgot she had the classic car. For half a second, I thought she was driving something modern, but I
Oh,
forgot it's folly.
Yeah, it's not something where like this thing is designed to crumple. No, you're designed to crumple. It is
Yeah.
not.
So I would say by the time you get there, first of all, no skid marks.
Yeah.
The lamppost is like on its side, basically blocking like a lane, because it's
Mhm.
it damaged a mailbox. Not just damaged, like crushed part of a mailbox
Yeah.
as it fell. Fortunately, all of the stores around are closed. None of them, if like what few of them still have lights on, either because they still have power, so thankfully, or they have like a generator, because it doesn't seem like this has caused enough damage to like black out a city block. That said, yeah, glass all over the place. And it being the World of Darkness Montreal, yeah, they're not going to come clean it up before the morning anyway. But there is now, like, I mean, we're 2 a.m, there's not an awful lot of traffic. But there's still, by now, when you get there, like a lineup of like a half a dozen car that by the time they go through, because they have to, hop into the opposite lane and yada yada, it never actually clears out. So there's always a little bit of kine around.
Oh, good. I get to play an old con. As I go snooping.
Huh? An old con as you?
Go snooping, because
snooping.
if anyone asks, I'm an insurance agent. We're going to go with what I refer to as the murder she wrote on break con.
What are you interested in going there?
Well, I'm not really interested in the wreckage, though that's going to be noted. I'm more interested in, like, any signs of a manifestation, something occult at work here, or did the Malkavian just have a Malkavian moment? I need to rule things out.
I don't think do you have any second sights? You don't, right?
No.
It's not like a discipline you got from your...
I just have a lot of occult.
Then I will ask for a Intel plus occult or Resolve plus occult. Your choice.
All right. I have to ask every time, does my Zamish specialty in occult count here?
I will say yes.
Okay.
Because it's a difficulty 5.
All right.
But knowing certain things, even though it might not be directly related to your clan or your clan's history, like tangentially could help.
Well, how
What
about 7
the
successes?
Fuck. No, that's 8 successes.
8 successes.
So, yeah, there was an apparition. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air tonight. There's a cold spot in the street. Like a certain place where if you stand there, it's brief, but the temperature goes down by about like 20 degrees Celsius, which,
That's significant.
yeah,
That's
it's
Okay.
like 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
yeah.
Let
That's,
that. Yeah, but for our viewers who might not.
um. Now this is okay. Somebody came to talk. And she saw it. Shit. And it's still the 26th, right? Well, now the 27th as it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, we're now the 20, but like for the purposes of our game and timekeeping, this is the night of the 26th.
So
It's not the next day until you go to sleep and wake back up again. So you know.
Well, this is bad. This means there's activity. Okay. Like immediately just all right.
With your 8 successes, I'll also give you that. When you stand where it's a cold spot and you look around, there is a sliver between buildings, so where the alleys sort of line up, because they don't always line up properly, right? But there's like an unbroken line between where you are and the manor.
All right, let's go check in on our favorite delinquent. Oh, as I now okay, I'm done with being an insurance claimant. It's now we're just gonna walk to the manor. And
Takes you less than 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I stand right outside the property. Okay. You obviously have something that you need to get off your metaphorical chest here.
Would you mind making a rouse check for me? Actually,
Sure.
a fear frenzy test.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not the same thing. I keep forgetting that rouse check isn't like a catch-all for everything.
what is the difficulty of this frenzy test?
In this particular case, difficulty 3.
Okay. Yeah, we say fuck off.
There is something unsettling about the house, more so than last time.
All right. You're getting active. What do you want? Or should I say, what do you need?
The house remains silent, but you see a silhouette at the window. A petite, red-headed woman just waving frantically at you. Folly Watson, of course,
Yeah.
who just says hi. She's fine, by the way.
Yeah.
Just-
No. Well, I'm not even going to walk in. I don't need that conversation. I will just quickly text her. What you saw was legit. It has something to do with the house. I am going to see if I can't literally bribe Fredo to get his butt here ASAP. I'll cut a check. Also, it would be a good idea to probably book a hotel for the next couple of days. Don't be at your actual home. Don't be here.
There are a couple cool parties in a few of the hotels around for Halloween. So she's
I'm certain she can find an excuse and make more content. But yeah, no, here you're getting active, and it's close to the day. This is why we do not do shit on the day.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
There are conjunctions, metaphysical and otherwise, that happen during our celestial calendar. That the little barrier between whatever you want to call them becomes thin. And right now there is a thinning going on, and I don't like it. It's also why you don't throw a fucking party on the day. Just inviting bullshit to happen. You want to get possessed? That's how you get possessed. So, no, I'm out the house. I'm just giving a good hard look. Like, all right, buddy, you obviously reached out to the person that now has a more intimate relationship, but I think we have a nice business understanding, you and I. If this is something that can be dealt with in a reasonable fashion, this is the time you talk to me. If you remain quiet, well, you can talk business after the day of. But if you desperately need something right now, now's the damn time, and we both know you got the juice.
Arthur, do you recall what you took out of this house?
Yeah, I took out a number of things, also an individual.
You get the feeling that it wants its stuff back.
Okay, you want your things. But not all of it is your property. I can see about returning some, but not all. And if that causes you a problem, I have no problems committing arson. I will cleanse your ass. So we need to come to an understanding.
It remains stoically silent and dark.
You start acting up, I start getting gasoline. I will go Reba on your ass in a heartbeat. All right. Well, unless you have something to say or do aside from, I would like my stuff back, I'm going to throw a hissy fit at you. You can wait until after the day.
You're going to what? I'm sorry,
You're going to have to wait until after Halloween. And then I'll see about having the professional return things and talk to you. Also, if you try anything hinky with Fredo, you're going to realize that you are the bottom in that relationship real quickly.
The house has no opinion on its position in a relationship. It feels like you're talking to a brick wall, kind of literally, but
This
also
happens.
metaphorically.
This happens sometimes with manifestations where you just get nothing, and then there are times you say the secret word and things happen.
Yeah, but it's more of a almost like an obstinate silence.
All right. Well, you can't find me because I put too many damn words on everything that I actually possess, because I am that paranoid asshole. But do not bother Miss Watson again. Cause me consternation and makes me twitchy. Now, if you do want to fuck with someone, I know a bunch of them that are going to be gathered, and one of them that you can possibly make into a meat suit. And they're going to have a gathering on the day. So if you want to go and party hardy like it's 1836, go right ahead.
It starts to rain.
You want to party.
But yeah, from what you recall, you know.
Yeah.
There was a few clouds, but it's just it's a drizzle. You know, it's not pouring, but
okay, you want to party. Cool. Got it. I'll make sure that the people I care about are not at the function unless they absolutely have to be, and if they are rewarded. Just keep in mind, you're choosing your vessel. I would suggest the blonde. No one's going to miss her. Bye-bye.
By the blonde, you mean Betty?
Betty.
Okay, good. just making sure out of character.
Like, if the evil house is going to possess someone on Halloween, I want it to be Betty. It's going to cause such a problem.
I want this so much now. Like, I just want this so much. I want an entire...
Well, we could get Betty full Beetlejuiced up in here. That would be beautiful. Demons run all through. But on that note, I'm going to bid the house adieu. I have other things that need doing, like apparently making sure that I have a bunch of gasoline just in case. And I'm going to need to get more salt.
Look, I'm pretty sure we know somebody who we can make a phone call, get two guys. They drive a 67 Impala. They can deal with the house.
They're in Oklahoma right now, and I'm not going to get that kind of heat up here.
That is fair.
I was going to say, I think there's an Easter egg in the game about them.
If there wasn't, I would be upset.
No, there is. There is.
So, no. Well, going to head on home. Though I am going to message someone who's already had a bad evening. I'm messaging Belwa. Probably already know this, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. The local spooks are getting restless. Expect something.
Types, not just the spooks.
You okay?
He replies, "What are you, my therapist?"
I care about the folks that are here that are not. are of the mindset that we can actually, be just individuals as opposed to having to, bend knees and do SCA things as undead. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Your coterie mate cost me years of work.
What did she do now?
She was hired by an unknown, as of right now, third party to prevent the fall of the Cardinal of Montreal.
Huh.
And she succeeded.
Well, she's very good. There's a reason I pay her so much.
Was it you?
Oh, no. Strathcona didn't. I wasn't even on his fucking radar. Like,
You were part of the same sect.
like at that, I was long out of the circle. Do I still have the Bishop of Miami's number? Yeah, with a bunch of warnings all over it. But I had been out of that pond for decades. And as for ordering a hit on a bunch of heavies trying to take out Strathcona because somebody else ordered it, that's not my style. Like, I try to solve problems, not get in the way of other people solving problems. Strathcona had gotten too comfy. He was bad leadership, but no one could step to him that knew it.
He just
And
replies,
because-
good night.
Stay safe. And whatever you do, don't go to that damn Elysium. Leave him be. Well, seems like the meeting of the Ravnos with the Tremere went swimmingly as expected. Well, for the rest of my good heavens, I need to make sure that certain people also Alex, you still up? You just like
Alex.
actually give him a call.
Alex Pawnshop.
Hey Alex, it's Arthur.
Oh, hey.
Whatever
going?
you do, for whatever goddamn reason, do not show up at that Elysium on Halloween. Not even as a visitor or someone to watch what goes down.
I don't know. I heard that Miss Winters was going to be there.
Florrie's going to do whatever the fuck she wants. And if a spirit was going to try and possess anybody, the last thing that any non-corporeal entity wants to do is to try and nestle up in a Malkavian. Because all that happens is you get locked in said Malkavian, and they find it funny, and they get to torment you for all of eternity. Now, your incorporeal existence may be currently unpleasant, but it's nowhere near the hell as living in the milk. Also, I don't want you to be possessed. That's part of the reason why I call it.
Should I be worried about being possessed?
If you go to the damn Elysium, yes. Otherwise, no, you should be fine. Though I would get some salt and probably wards or one. passages around your home since things are getting spooky up in here. Welcome, Raiders. We're just talking about everyone's favorite Malkavian.
Okay, I will ghost the ghost party.
Yeah, no. Also, just I know you probably have some contraband in your possession. I hope that you are fluent with its usages. Tip for this time of year: silver shavings and rock salt.
I can probably get rock salt easy. Silver shaving,
You've got silver in the pawn shop. You can make your
I
own.
was gonna say, can I just? How pure does it have to be?
The purer the better, but you can get away with, plating in a pinch.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to get the full FU experience, you see about getting somebody to fulfill a very odd trade and see about having them get you a mason jar of holy water.
Oh, that's a little harder to get.
In the city of churches, are you serious?
It tends to attract attention if you poke the church.
With the number of spooky things that are going to happen in this town, they're already going to be on high alert. I think the requests for holy water are going to be a minor inconvenience. Now, if you were asking for actually like holy oil, that automatically gets you put on a list. Because the stuff that you can do with that is all sorts of fun. But no, water, that could be used for a christening, paranoid individual, etc., etc. And Hawkeye, small mason jar, not the big one. The big one is for house grade problems. We were only talking about minor spook. Like the amount you would keep if you were going to make some mint jelly.
Okay. I think I noted everything down. Is it because you want me to ship you something? Do you need anything?
No, I just need you to be okay.
Oh,
Alex.
There's not a lot of people that call to ask me if I'm okay, so I appreciate it.
You're a good kid. You've got a good future ahead of you. You just need to pick up on certain things that you haven't been taught because whoever your sire was, they were a goddamn awful individual.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Take care, Alex. Have a good night.
And he hangs up.
Who's the last person I'm going to play phone tag with, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Who is?
Well, since I don't have Diane to poke, I am going to poke at Yuma.
Yep.
So, going to give you heads up on two things, because I like you.
Wow.
One, do not show up at that Elysium for whatever reasons you think.
You really think we were going?
I think that if you party hard enough, you would march down there.
Oh, nah.
Good. It's going to be a shit show.
Ugh. I'm not much for costumes and parades and all that.
No, we're talking about outings and possessions. No, it's gonna be a travesty. But good to know. Second, somebody is very, very cranky pants and is looking to pin something on somebody. Valois has had a bad evening. He's looking at anybody that recently came to Montreal or was in Montreal about apparently pissing in his Cheerios.
Huh.
So, you and yours get your house in order and make sure that the secrets stay secret. In case you did piss in his Cheerios.
Yeah. And he hangs up. Curtain to the
Confirmation
point.
made.
Yeah.
With how abrupt he hung up, he did piss in his Cheerios. Got it. So, there, I did my good deeds for the evening.
You checked all those boxes. And speaking of a box, where's Dixon?
We're in the same night, so Dixon has retired for the evening.
Oh,
He spent the
true.
Yeah, he got up, he walked down around the city, dropped off notes, picked up notes, walked back, and he retired. It was like a, long day.
Okay. 2 seconds. I need to send a message.
Ooh.
There we go. Then in that case, I guess we will end our night here. As the sun rises over Montreal, Flory and Casimir regain... Well, they go back to the RV. Did you need to
She
move
makes it-
the RV?
Yeah, but we're going to move the RV around, but she's also going to stop and we have a couple snacks. Or 6.
To get rid of that aggravated damage?
Or at least to
You
start
can only
to,
do one a
yes.
day. Yeah, only one a day.
Unless I spend the night at Artie's.
No, that's
I thought
willpower.
already-
That's
Unfortunately,
willpower.
not.
Willpower.
Yeah. I wish I could heal people.
It's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why Dixon was not visible for like 4 or 5 days, because he had to heal the aggravated damage, and it just takes time.
No, it does. And so she's gonna just gonna snack on 1. She hasn't eaten yet.
So you can... what's your hunger at?
1.
1? I mean, without snacking, you can tonight make a rouse check.
In the morning. In the morning.
Oh, it's in the
It's-
morning?
It's in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the next day.
Then
So tomorrow she can. Tomorrow she doesn't have a choice. Her body will automatically
attempt to heal.
spend a blood to heal 1
Exactly,
aggravated
which
damage.
is why if you
Yeah.
eat,
Yeah, but if you're at 1 hunger, you can only... I'm just saying, you can only go down to 0 if you kill someone.
somebody. Yeah, so she's not gonna do it then. Which I feel is mechanically
Always a bit peckish.
it's fine.
Um,
Oh, it's not that. It's the fact that you can't feed to
to heal
you have
faster?
to wait. Yeah, you have to wait. That's fine.
Yeah,
You
which
can
is...
you can pump blood to heal your superficial damage.
Yeah.
So that
that's
you can
right.
just like blow all of that up and like just clear all of that in one moment. It's just the aggravated just
There's
takes
very
time.
few things that deal aggravated anymore. Blood sorcery is one of those.
Fire.
and then supernatural claws and teeth. So what we'll do is, as the sun rises, if you just want to make that rouse check right away, Flory, so that way we'll know for next time.
So when the sun rises or when it sets?
No, when it sets, when you wake up in the next
when
day.
I wake up the next night. So I mean,
so
we're gonna
we
fast
can-
forward
we'll-
the clock anyways, right?
Yeah. Next session we're going to
We're going to the Elysium, right?
Yeah,
So
there is probably going to be time skip. So we'll leave it here for tonight.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Remorse roll?
Yes, we have to do the remorse roll for, I believe, just Flory.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. Oh, you have it on the sheet, I believe. The
Mhm.
remorse.
Yes.
I think it's on the first page. I don't remember. Yeah, it's on the first page.
Yeah, I would almost say that one of her convictions applies. But I still
And
succeed the
if
remorse
you're-
test anyways.
Wait, if your conviction applied, then you wouldn't have gotten any stains at all.
Yeah, that's it. It lowers the stain. It doesn't give you a bonus. Which one was it?
The never impede out of the aroma. Everything in that conversation was getting Casimir the information he wanted. Everything she did. Including the mark on the wall, which is about giving other Roma information. But it doesn't matter. I succeeded on the
Yeah.
remorse check anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Sorry, I was trying to find, because I don't want to fiddle with your sheet. I was trying to find if I had your convictions in my notes, but I don't think I do, which is weird.
Yeah, so
I have the tenets, but I don't. Anyway, I'll fix that on my end.
I'll make sure it more obvious by putting numbers in front of them.
Oh no, it's more like I didn't want to click on your sheet to go and copy them if you weren't already on that page. Is all.
No, no, I appreciate it. But now you see them.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna copy them right away. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, otherwise, the never impede other Roma. I think in this case I would have said no.
Okay.
Because Casimir could have gone and went without, like, if say Valois had been antagonistic from the start because of what Casimir did, and like had prevented you or like made you work to get that, and you did something in retaliation or in answer to that, then yeah, definitely the conviction would have played a part in it, for sure. Let me just put those notes here. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I had them. Okay, I just didn't find the page. Sorry. Well, on that note, friends, we're going to end it for tonight because your storyteller has been up for longer than he cares to admit. And next week is our finale, season finale.
Amazing.
And there's a couple things that have been slowly set up over the course of tonight and last week to get to our interludes in between the seasons. So we'll get back to that. But before we leave, I'll just give the mic back to my good friends, my players, the coterie. Same order as we did the intros. We'll start with Flory.
Oh, that's me. Hey everyone. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I always enjoy this. It'll be very interesting to see what happens when we get to this Elysium. I have an outfit planned. It'll be fun. It'll be great. But hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter or Prexgorth Thesmiophoria, as you see me around here on Twitch, Prex the Bard over on Hive and Instagram. And I am in the current break between arcs 1 and 2 of Carousel Court, which will be back on August 19th. But I am doing some pop-up streams Right now, we're playing through Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and having some fun times with that because it's, time to celebrate that game and bring it some joy and love. And keep an eye out because I'll always post where I'm going to be, including the fun, wonderful people here that I get to play with. I loved every minute of the wonderful conversations that Hardy was having with apparently everyone and his brother in a house. And I just love Dixon's Trooper, we will see this makeup, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's unclear. Maybe next season. You don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's possible. We'll see. We'll see. Whenever the stars have to be right,
Oh, so you trust the past, not the future. Good to know. All right. Yeah, every time you ask the stars for something, the stars are giving you the answer about something in the past because they're, light years away, giving you old information. But you can find me back here next week for the finale of season finale of Montreal by Night.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, thank you again, Simon, for having me.
You're very welcome. Love for tonight?
Oh, I said Artie's wonderful conversations
Yes.
with everyone, including a
With
house.
the house, yes.
Trooper just torturing us.
I am losing it. Arthur.
Let's keep this brief. So hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build on the socials, Pope World Build on Twitch. Be here next week if you want to see more of my ridiculous face. Otherwise, follow these wonderful people in their projects because you need good people in your life, and these are all good people. Absolutely was just the conversation between Valois and Flory was just absolutely engaging as we're seeing those two sort of reveal more of their hands and see that somebody brought those Inquisitors to the island, and now we know who. Also, if you scrub all the footage, you can find glimpses of the makeup. Just glimpses. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We're live VOD. YouTube store is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves, one another, and see you soon.
Thank you for coming. And the Vampire of Mystery, Trooper.
Hello, everybody. I am Trooper SJP, and I was playing Dixon tonight, who, is hanging out. So, wait, Pope. Let me see if I get this right. If you want to see more of my lovely face, then come back here next week. I just feel like I should take Pope's saying there because it amuses me.
I would like to point out, Trooper, I know where you live.
True, but I probably will not have the makeup on if you just come over.
But if she doesn't tell you when she's coming over.
Yeah, but she could only come over. I would only have the makeup on when we're for this show, but she'd be here for the show. I'm just saying.
Next week,
Anyhow.
Prax is streaming from her car for some reason.
And you're like, wait, that's weird. Hold on a second. So let me give my love first. I want to give my love for the ways in which each of my coterie mates are very much themselves today, right? In these very interesting ways. Everybody was doing their own thing, right? Sort of separate. And in each of these ways, we learned something about each of the characters, right? Sort of Flory with her breezy antagonism, it's a very chill, sort of breezy antagonism. And Artie with wanting to, Artie, the way you warn people starts feeling a little Cassandra. You know what I mean? You're like, whatever you do, I've had a premonition, don't go to the Elysium. People are like, why? What? Huh? Like there's something so desperate about Artie wanting to sort of try to stop this impending thing, and what it is we don't even necessarily know yet. And so, and then of course, Dixon is doing his best to keep the masquerade and waiting until he can get the info he needs, so he can do the things he needs to do. Right, like his sort of laid back, no rush sort of element, right, is sort of there. And so that's like it's very nice to see all of the sort of different the ways in which each of this trio manifest themselves in this moment before the Elysium. And I want to give big love also to our GM, our storyteller Simon, who trusts us and is here and does the thing. You know, he does all of the videos, and he teases me all the time for not having my face visible, and he's just like awesome. So much love. You can find me if you like tomorrow at hopefully I think all of our players are good. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern over at my channel, Trooper SJP, for Motor City Hollow Crown, which is the Vampire the Masquerade 8-part miniseries set in Detroit, 1973. I'm pretty sure everybody's good, but other than that, the next RPG I will be doing will be Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, on my channel, which will be what I'm doing in between the 2 seasons of The Gamblers, and I will be doing the next installment of Crash Jones, Space Adventurer. So we'll be getting some good Iron Sworn Starforge solo play in there. I'll be coming back to Crash Jones and see what happens and what kind of weird parallels to the main campaign come out through the oracles. Yeah, so that's me. Thank you very, very, very much.
Well, thank you.
And also, next week, we'll see what happens with the face. Next week, we'll see.
Yep. Thank you to all 3 of you for coming tonight. Like we said, next week is the finale of Season 3 of our little Montreal by Night Chronicle. Few announcements before then, so I will probably be streaming maybe on Wednesday this week, The Road to Baldur's Gate, because otherwise I will completely disappear on Thursday and Friday to actually play Baldur's Gate by myself. That said, on Wednesday, if I believe, there will be another announcement, something coming up, the release of the first episode of the Quip and Quill podcast. So I'll post it on all of the social nala. I got to hear the first episode that was basically 3 hours pared down to 1, but it's the best 1 hour. And apparently there are now sound bites of me that I don't know if I want to release them on the internet. Other than that, if you are at Gen Con this weekend, we're gonna have a playable demo of Werewolf the Apocalypse Retaliation, scenario number 5, which is very interesting. Oh, wait, Trooper, what's that thing dangling over your head?
The microphone?
No, it's not a microphone. It's like where you're. There's something like from the ceiling, I think.
I don't know. I can't tell. It might be some sort of fly, perhaps. It could be anything.
God damn it. The room. So the room, I know that in the exhibit hall, we will be in with Miniature Market. On Thursday, we're going to have a pyramid of Vampire the Masquerade Chapters First Edition. So basically, this game is I'm not going to say prequel anymore because it's changing, but it is set in the same universe. It is the canon version of Montreal for 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade, and we're going to have a few, like, the rest of our copies. So all of our backers, everything is, because I know there are some people who haven't received it yet because of transit and of issues with borders, which is always a problem. These ones are basically the ones that Miniature Market had, which are going to be brought over to Gen Con. So instead of selling it like in their stores or what have you, they're going to sell them on site. But for the playtest, the demo for Werewolf the Apocalypse, it is 5 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it is in Hall A, Hall C, and Hall A again. The rooms are different. I tried to look at them on the map. But there they are in chat. So it's respectively Hall A, Blue 13, Hall C, Red 16, Hall A, Blue 18. I think the number is just the table. So you just need to find, and those halls are all on the first floor of the convention center. When you exit the exhibit hall, so when you get out of the exhibit hall, it will be to your left. So not towards the food trucks, go the other way. Basically where the like queue to get your badge and all that is, if I remember correctly. We're gonna have, demos of Werewolf. We're gonna have demos of Vampire the Masquerade chapters. If you want to try and play some of the prologues of the game, you can play, or you can meet, I should say, Yuma in-game, and you can meet Andrade and a few of the other NPCs. And that is it. Oh, no, that's true. For those of you who are not at Gen Con, on Thursday, starting Thursday, if you have Tabletop Simulator on Steam, the exact same Werewolf Retaliation game is going to be available for you to demo. So I might do a tiny ETBT stream on Thursday to just showcase it to everyone, because I want to show you the assets, because guys, it's been so long and I can't show anything. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you, players, for being here. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you to all the raiders, the follows, the interaction, all of this. Greatly appreciated. And we will see you next week for more Vampire the Masquerade. Bye-bye.